All right, Sam. I'm super excited. I don't know why, but let's talk.
Me
Let's
too.
talk about Nina Turner, man. I mean, first of all, I wish she would have won. I wish that was the case. And I didn't think she was gonna win, but all of
Yes.
that was based in theory in my head. Thinking, why would you, win after you just lost to this person? This person doesn't have, hasn't enough time to have a bad track record in Congress or anything. I was just thinking in theory, it makes no sense. And also losing twice in a row like this is should theoretically be very bad for you, although for Nina Turner and her supporters, which I mean, I don't know if I want to use
It's
the word
three, my friend.
delusion. Yeah, maybe. What's the saying? Until like three makes. There's a saying involving three. No, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, third time is the charm, is
yeah.
something
So,
like that. But no, no, no.
man.
It's her third time losing.
Oh, from
Apparently, a lot of people said it's her third time losing in a row. So it's not the second time. But
man,
let's
one
give a
word just comes to
narrative.
my delusion. Just
Delusion.
delusion or scam artist. So we'll talk about it,
I
guys. We're
think
gonna try
delusion
to
is.
keep, yeah,
I think, but
accidental scam artist. Guys, we're gonna try to keep our comments or this video short, but I can't even control myself, so I don't even know. But yeah,
me
go
too,
ahead.
man. Man, I love the fact that when I said we have to talk about this, you were like, I don't know, let's keep it short. Now you're more excited than me after watching this. So we've been very open about the fact that while we think Nina Turner is better than Chantel Brown, she
Of
wouldn't
course.
change anything. And the fact that we didn't think she had a chance and she did an awful campaign, plus the fact that, establishment and progressive caucus and all that were against her, right?
And one
That's
more
the,
point I would add was the unjustified, unsupported belief in her, if you ask me. I mean,
oh, yes, we
she didn't
discussed
have a
that.
track record or anything. I know she speaks anything, a lot of the stuff that she says people love. So I get that part of the charm. But besides that, I didn't see the track record or any other things that showcase why there was such a belief in this person, making every little election of her seem like she's running for the president of the US, for presidency
Yeah.
of the US.
And I like to add, there was actually one negative comment on the video we made about Nina Turner that said that you're basically saying that, and it may have been a bit of a fair criticism, I think, that you're basically saying that you just don't like how a black woman speaks. And I would argue it's not about her being a black woman. It is about her, the way she speaks. In my view, she seemed to exaggerate the power of the grassroots, the people, or whatever you want to call the support. She seems to talk as if she's running the Democratic Party while she's a candidate. And frankly, I mentioned she sounds very preachy. I personally found that type of tone to, like, it's the same tone that evangelical priests usually have, like Protestant evangelical priests. As soon as I hear that sort of tone, I think a scam artist, because especially because it's associated with religion.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically for me, it's a scam. So, and I genuinely feel like having, now she had her election, she lost by more than, I believe, 30%.
Someone needs to explain that to me. I haven't even seen an actual analysis of how it's happened. Like I'm even
The
like,
turnout was very low, apparently.
but by that much, well, I would actually later on enjoy a nice further maybe analysis. Jordan Chariton gave a little bit in his video, but for now we're just having too
Should
much
we?
fun.
We can do a little bit of analysis. Should
Do
we
you
do the
know? Yeah,
analysis first?
yeah. Start with
All
that.
I know, it's from what Jordan said. It's the bluest state it's the bluest district in the state. Therefore, when it's the bluest state, it's probably majority are not radical
Mhm.
Democrats. They're middle of the road Democrats. There was also the fact that I think the other side outspent her by a lot.
By 50 to
And
1, I think Jordan said.
yeah, and she was saying like every commercial break on TV on local channels would have Chantel Brown on, nothing from Nina Turner almost. Also, I would add personally, not that I think that would have made or may break the campaign, but she wasn't very forceful in her presentation. She wasn't trying to whip up her base. For example, having been accused of anti-Semitism and being anti-Israeli, she wrote a sort of an open letter, I believe, to a Jewish community, which again, I'm not a big like BDS fan necessarily. I don't think BDS is the best strategy. But if I'm running as a left candidate and I'm positioning myself as a radical leftist, I'm probably going to keep that on the quiet side. Or, I'm not going to kowtow. Like kowtowing to Israel is just like, that's just automatic. Like that's one of the first things they say that, oh, you're going to sell us out.
Yeah.
So I would add that
Yeah.
too, but that's my personal view. Maybe
I mean, I don't even know if that tilts it to one way or another, but
I
now
doubt.
we saw with what's his name also, who's like, they're so similar to me now. Andrew Yang, they both seem very similar in my head now. He did the exact same thing, and I mean, he just lost, so maybe would have lost worse or something.
And I think
but
in his case,
and I see a lot of parallels between these two, which is that just can you get away for a second and then come back, man? Instead of they just come up with new things on the spot. So she lost, and I guess people see the world differently because Kyle and people on TYT saw the fact that
let's organize it and have fun here. So she lost by more than 30%, 30, I believe 5 or something, right? And then after I watched the whole thing, that she comes on a stage, she gives a very, very furious speech saying that, yeah, we might have, we know we lost, but this is just a step. This is not the, that type of thing. It's a battle. It's not the war and stuff. And then she starts sort of hinting at potentially, if you want to fight, I give you a fight for 2024. And then at some point, I because I did fast forward some bit, him and some of his, I guess, her main campaign people there at the event and all that, they start, I swear to God, I kid you not, I was just shocked. They start clapping and singing, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all... It's the most ludicrous. It's the most, like, this is the level of, like, this is, I don't know, this is what level of self-delusion or
cultish behavior. Okay. I mean, I don't know even
cultish. That's
what
the exact
to say.
Word
and
I was
by the way, where's your microphone? Because like maybe your hand touched it once or twice.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's not so bad. Nina Turner gets us so agitated that we go crazy. But I just want to come back to your
I need to take off my
because maybe we'll forget. Because maybe I'll forget about the preachy thing. I mean, for me, it's also like, there's a style to the way of speaking and stuff, but there's also a moment. So when you come, once you've lost, and then you sound like this, so I'm going to make it happen stuff, to me, it's extremely off-putting, so delusional at that time. There's a time and place. You're wrapping up your campaign. Make that analogy, when you, you're still campaigning, you're wrapping it up, then make that analogy of, I'm the boss and I won't be bought, or and that just afterwards hearing that, I was like, man, insane amount of delusion. Just
when you lose by 30%, maybe you should say, and I hate, like, this is a typical thing politicians, especially back in 90s, used to say that, guys, I know we did a great campaign, but now it's time to take some time and reflect. But sometimes genuinely take some time and like, if I don't understand, like, is this like she's, I don't know if she's in a sports team, they lose and she's like, we're gonna be all right. Yeah. Let's not change anything, guys. We still have the best message. Everything we did good. It's just the evil money from them that is.
And sorry, not lose. I'm going to use Jordan Chariton's words here. Politically murdered. And
I don't know. We have to talk about the language a lot. We have to
I don't
talk
know
about
what
the
else to say.
language a lot.
Politically murdered 100%. And by the way, the money, I think some of the reason should be blamed on her that she didn't manage to get more money, because it was just 3 months ago you ran this election and you lost. So you're going back to people again and asking for money. And I know that the Justice Democrats this time, they didn't give any money. Let's not even talk about AOC. I mean, she must be the king of all fraud. I mean, I think this endorsement of her was the most AOC fraudulent thing I've seen her do. Other times I repeat what people are saying. This was, man, because what is the only benefit of her endorsing Nina Turner 12 hours before when people were going to the polls? Jordan said that people were going to the polls and she endorsed. What's the only benefit? In 10 years, when people are looking back in history, and someone's like, oh yeah, AOC didn't even endorse Nina, they'll be like, oh no, did you actually go read in Wikipedia? Here it says that AOC endorsed Nina Turner, and then you have to go do background research to find out that, oh no, yeah, she endorsed her.
Actually, if you check on the last second, AOC.
Yeah, so that's just fraud,
No.
man.
I would say I wish it was even. I don't think it was that is like that Machiavellian, so to speak, of AOC. I think it just showcases her indecisiveness, which is a characteristic of her sort of liberal, sort of the group she represents. Maybe not the class, the group. Her indecisiveness and her sort of wishy-washiness and her incompetence, because she's got now. Because the reason, why do you think they didn't want to endorse Nina Turner? Because
Sam, they were threatened. They were threatened.
No, wait, we get to that threat. Jesus, the English language is being murdered, I believe. Not Nina Turner's career, English language. But they didn't endorse her because they didn't want her to lose and then have all over headlines that AOC, Ilhan Omar, blah, blah, backed candidate lost. That's the usual political consultant sort of excuse. But AOC, being the wishy-washy, indecisive, sort of incompetent politician she is, not only she waited till last moment, she did endorse her. She's got all the negative headlines now. Everybody's putting AOC-backed candidate lost, AOC-backed candidate lost, and she's also getting hit from the progressive base.
Is she getting backlash from it? I mean, she did it so
late.
Yeah, she didn't think
there were. I mean, look, we are talking back.
And sorry, did your microphone fall again? Because your voice went down a bit. Oh
no, it's maybe a bit. Let me just adjust a bit to put it here.
Yeah, it sounds. Let me see.
I mean,
but man, really, because she did it so late, I didn't even think she would face any backlash from that angle.
Yeah, well, look, man, there was about 6 people paying attention to this election anyway. But yeah, there was like
5 of them outside of Detroit. Sorry, not Detroit. Cleveland.
Yeah, whatever, Ohio.
Cleveland.
Two of them are. One of them is in Iran. It's just ridiculous election, but yeah, man, it was. I mean, I was like, this is delusional and shit, right? And thankfully, originally I was watching it on Revolutionary Black Network, and thankfully they were agreeing, and they made sense. But now I think it's time to maybe move on to language and commentary. I want to talk about both.
You get started, whichever one you want.
So yeah,
I'll throw my points in there when they make
about the
sense.
language. So Jordan Chariton said that. Yeah, Jordan Chariton said that Nina Turner's that was I think that may have been in jest, but she was politically murdered, and I think he was right to an extent. But because I don't think she can come back, to be honest, from this. Then, but what was fascinating by me was TYT's coverage and Secular Talks coverage, and first focusing on language. They kept saying, I mean, Cenk we talk about it later, he was good on this, but they said that the squad, apparently, this is what Nina Turner apparently told Jordan Chariton, that the squad was threatened. And I'm sorry, but are we just like, I like some clarification. Threatened with what? Like their children were kidnapped and were put a gun to their head? Like if you don't, like what? Committee assignments? Like funding for your next election? Like, I'm sorry, but fucking pathetic. This is, I mean, and it's still, she's lost by 35 points, and it's still she's making excuses for them. I mean, what kind of a loser do you have to be? How much of a cock do you have to be to, like, they literally fucked you, and you're still and you're still loyal?
Man,
I'm
if
sorry,
they were threatened,
geez.
like, I mean, I love threatened, man. So until now, I guess they've just willingly, the squad, not done the policies that they promised. Because only now, apparently, they've been countered with, hey, if you don't do this, we're going to come after you. You know, we're going to campaign against you. We won't sign this that you want. We won't sign this. So I guess until now, it was actually AOC and all of they were implementing the policies that they wanted because they weren't.
Yeah, under no pressure, it seems.
I mean, this is ridiculous. So last time they found out that the opposition can spend money, even though they weren't outspent. This time they found out they're political. It's honestly like, I'm going to go Kyle now, give a stupid analogy. It's like playing a game of football and basketball and being like, shit, we didn't know their team had defenders. I went to
Yeah, yeah.
shoot. This guy came and took the ball from me. I mean, this is
Guys, I had no idea there are referees involved. What is going on? This is not fair. I don't
no.
know. Let's
The other team had a goalkeeper. If the keeper wasn't there, that ball would have for sure gone in the back of the net. I can guarantee you.
There is a saying in Iran that, you know, whenever you say if that somebody says that, yeah, if I was a king's
Yeah.
son, or if I was a queen's daughter or something, and yeah, it's exactly like that. If this, if that, if again, it's like, and again, I'm not saying it's fair that democratic establishment has more money and more power,
Yeah.
but what is this, like 1970s? Are we just figuring out what are like political? Oh, guys, did you know politicians lie? Did you know they represent their own vested interest? Oh my God. Can you believe establishment Democrats like didn't want the Progressive Caucus to endorse? Oh my God, what a surprise that was. I mean, and again, and she's gonna go to Congress and fight for, like, Nancy Pelosi will tear her apart like a piece of paper, buddy.
I
I
swear
mean,
to God,
threatened.
man.
We were
So
threatened. We were out. This is an evil. And the language, man, this moralistic language, this preachy language. I'm sorry, get over yourself. Like, you've been rejected. I mean, I have a lot of beliefs, but I don't delude myself into thinking my beliefs are the most popular beliefs in everywhere I go.
Man, but is she seriously like, is her business campaigning? Like, if she literally goes into straight another one and does some campaigning for presidential race, that means that she's lived off campaign money without becoming successful, without winning for like 4 or 5 years. Like, so maybe that's her thing. She just campaigns for a living.
She's a political operative at this point. She's a political operative. So
and
yeah,
maybe she should take, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, I'm guessing she has some skills. You can see them that people like, but maybe campaigning is not for you. Maybe go back to campaigning, but for other people. Maybe that's more for you. But
yeah, maybe she connects with a very small segment of some populations, but she's
because I mean, you
pathetic.
know, man, on TYT, John Idorola was saying something. I've never seen someone so energized after losing. Kyle was saying the same thing. I mean, just pure delusion. They're just enabling her from taking people's money. I mean, I honestly feel bad because people who earn their money in much far harder way than I do, they're giving her money. And it's fine if your candidate loses, but there's also no like party or movement behind it. You know, if you're like, if she was part of a party, you know, you're like, oh, this time we didn't get this one, but we have like the other candidates here and there, so this one is fine, lost. No, these all go individually. She's like a one-man team. I know she's supposed to be part of the squad, but she's not really a Democrat or this. So it's just money going to her and really going to waste. And I honestly feel bad for people. She should 100% prove herself again before anybody gives any penny. People can change. People can do better. There's the national versus local dynamic. In all seriousness, we should discuss, although I have a few funny attempts at humor in there, but
no, sure. No, I would say I do disagree with you. I don't think she's got any. I'm somewhat more negative on her. She has no really good qualities in my view. And I would say that I forgot to mention this. She showed up at her, finale of her campaign, finale of her show, dressed as Moon Knight. Did you see that?
No.
Did you? She her dress choice. I don't know who's doing her wardrobe. What the fuck is going on? She was dressed as Moon Knight. You know Moon Knight? He's like a superhero. He dresses in white and he's got a cloak and all that. And she had some weird sort of a.
I mean, who? Okay,
I don't know who's choosing.
Who does this resonate with? I mean, again, we're not in Cleveland. We're not the target, but like, does this resonate? I've been to the US
dressing like a superhero from Future.
From
almost, it was like, have you seen Flash Gordon? It's like this cheesy British movie from 80s, I think. Very Flash Gordon sort of vibes. And then, man, Jordan Chariton showed her going through the streets, and this is before the finale. And he was like, look at what happens when Nina walks, and people come, and she almost like a goddamn monster, really. She attacks them, hugs them by force. Oh, I love you. I'm sorry, but who loves this many random strangers and kisses them and
So
gives them?
even
I mean, this is
so
such a
even the
bullshit.
one-on-one, she's overdoing it. Because I mean,
She's
you
so
know, a lot of
overdoing it.
people vote. Jordan talks about this. A lot of people vote just because, you know, the
I don't
person has
hug
a
my
nice
mom like
smile or something. But she's obviously even doing this pandering of like an individual one-on-one level, perhaps overdoing it. People are like, yeah, you're a politician. I want to take a picture with you, but you're kind of creepy.
you don't need to make out
Yeah.
like every time. It's ridiculous. She's just, I mean, this is I don't know, maybe these people exist, but I've never seen them. These people that, you know, again, my grandmother, I don't hug her this how tightly and, oh, I love you. What are you talking about? This is some, like you met him twice or something. What nonsense is this?
Yeah.
And how is this related to politics? That, oh, I care. What happened with your grandmother's hospital bills? Oh,
But
what
in
is going
reality,
on?
these things apparently work though.
Today, I don't know. What was the
I
last
haven't
time a
seen any.
real leftist?
I haven't seen any scientific studies or anything, but you know, Jordan was just talking about some of the things he hears anecdotally from people,
Yeah,
and people
anecdotes.
tell him
Very,
like,
very good.
I met this person at like the ice cream shop, so I decided to vote for him. Things like this, and man, there's one voter that okay, everyone
That
really should
was,
listen to the Jordan Sheridan breakdown post. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. A lot
maybe
of
you should play
insightful
that
stuff.
clip about that specific voter because
Yeah, if I don't do a good job here, maybe. But I mean, it's not the clip of the voter, it's Jordan telling the story. But Jordan goes and sees this voter and he's like, who are you going to be voting for? And he's like, oh, for sure for Nina Turner. I can't believe the things that Chantal Brown said about Joe Biden.
the
Little did we
half a
know,
bowl of shit.
she was confusing Chantal Brown and Nina Turner. I mean, I don't know who this person was. Maybe she was some, I mean, even being old, I don't know if that's an excuse, but I mean, you know, that just kind of really, you know, I feel like that feeds a bit too much into your narratives and stuff in life. So don't get carried away. So
No man,
then it made me
I'm
kind of think, if good thing the squad didn't go there and like also campaign, because this person was already confusing two people. Next thing you know, they're like, who is that AOC? I'll put her name on the campaign ballot.
AOC.
No, not her.
They
The other
yeah, they
lady. Yeah, vote for not her. The other lady. Yeah, vote for her.
soon they have to, in voting booth, they have to put sort of like a smart TV with pictures of people. So you go beep, beep, or something. But no, I mean, I genuinely believe recent, especially the last 10 years, have proven my case that voting and democracy is just a bad idea. So
At least the
I'm
way it
just,
is in these places, you know. I mean, maybe in Switzerland, someone can come and make the case that no, here it's good. But in the US, whether people are voting or not voting, I mean, it seems like you end up in similar situations, maybe in very, even this was local, but insanely local levels, or I don't know, like, I don't know how local you have to get.
I don't
Like,
know. I genuinely think, and this is from very like old university years, but if you look at history, if you look at data, democracies are the most aggressive states. They are the most unstable states. They lead to least amount of economic development. So in my view, it's pretty much a closed and shut case that we have to be, it has to be very limited.
and what is
That's,
democracy exactly? Because someone would be like, "Oh
yeah,
no, the
exactly.
U.S. prospered under
Franchisement, voting.
democracy."
I mean,
Okay,
voting
yeah, they,
franchisement. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they prospered when like only a group of people could vote. And again, where's the evidence that without it? And I mean, you know, I'm not
I
so
think
doom
if
and
you
gloom on
care about,
democracy. I just think that in some situations, it's just being applied in such a bad way because of
I don't
host of
think it
issues.
can.
One, like too many issues to even name. That yeah, perhaps is doing worse than some, you know, I'm not saying go to like some kind of dictatorship, but you know, some
I might, but yeah,
something else. Because some of the things you hear about the vote, I mean, you know,
no,
but
man.
again,
I
people are
genuinely,
busy and stuff, and you know,
no, I know. I'm not even.
no.
That's my point. It's such a think that, oh, you should care about, fuck you, I should care about. They do a real, like, there are doctors, there are people doing really hard jobs in mines, and oh, they should sit around every day like political freaks, read New York Times and Atlantic Monthly and bullshit like that. They're real people, they have real lives, they want to have a good life. So it's the responsibility of the people educated in politics or in economics and shit to do their jobs right. Not, oh, you should, everybody should 24/7 pay attention. If you are not vigilant, come up with a system that doesn't need to be 24/7. I have to be like that unless somebody comes and steals every, fuck off. I hate democracy. Fuck
No,
you.
I mean, you
I'm
make
sorry.
a fair point, and Jordan Chariton kept on saying over and over again, people aren't political, not freaks. What's the
They're
word?
not, they have a good,
They're
they
into
want to have a good,
they're into other stuff. Like, we're so into it. This is like fun for us, right? Like you and I and other people and
like,
Jordan. Cenk says this
Premier
all
League.
the time, during elections. Like, well, not everyone's a political junkie. They're not following this, which is one of the, biggest truths that he's ever perhaps said. People are just not so into it. We're so into it because it's our fun for a lot of people. Unfortunately, I
Yeah,
know it has real
but I would
consequences for
say
people's lives, and I wish it weren't this way. It's just the reality, and I guess
but
you
I
can
would say
see it.
that's the difference. I would say that's the difference between like us and maybe people like Cenk and maybe Kyle. I mean, this is a good segue to their commentary, I think. For them, and I think for most people who believe in democracy, it's a fucking game. It's a popular, what is the most popular thing right now? And it's, they don't have any, for them, above all, it's democracy. It's not women's right, it's not gay rights, it's not minority rights, it's not equality of housing. All of these are secondary to democracy. That's why Cenk was going mental over
point.
Trump as well. And frankly, for me, even if democracy was like something that I would support, which I'm not sure I am anymore, it would be very much below all of that. Like, very much below all of that. So, that I think that's why I get, and that's why I found Cenk and I'm sorry, but Kyle's commentary.
And I can't believe I didn't listen to that. Oh, it's my fault, people.
Cenk
Sam told me to listen to it.
Was better.
I'm gonna listen for tomorrow's podcast, though. But yeah.
Sure.
Cenk was better.
Yeah, Cenk was saying that he first of Cenk, I don't believe this because I think he's a liar, and it's been proven that he's a liar, and maybe he's just not necessarily liar, but somebody who's one of those liars that they don't want to be wrong ever, not lying intentionally. But no, I didn't say that. I don't know. But
that does make sense. He's so into, like, you remember when I said this? Like, he always, like, anytime
I was
something.
Proven right.
Yeah.
I was proven right.
Yeah. So I think that makes you have some evidence there.
But yeah, anyway, he almost was like it was so funny, man. It was so funny. It was like it's kind of parallels with Amber Heard, Johnny Depp story. It was like him and progressive caucus in this case. Cenk is in love with them. They have left her. They left him. Sorry, for some like rich dude or something. And then he was like, guys, if you want to go ahead. You want to go BVB, you're now famous, and you want to be having fun with your famous friend in Washington, go ahead. But you know what? We'll be here. We'll be here waiting with the voters. And it was like, and then and you know what? If you're watching this, I don't care if you catch feelings, if you get upset, but you betrayed Nina. You left Nina on the battlefield. It was almost like, I think Vanguard people say, it was almost like he was talking about Saving Private Ryan. Nina was shot and you left. Again, like, what are you talking about? This is politics. Even they are not your friends. They are not they are not supposed to be your friends. You should have friends from your childhood or education. These are people you interact with in a business, in a social relationship to gain something or to give. I don't understand. Are we talking to children? Like, and then what is there? That was there, as you mentioned with John Haidarat. Cenk said, I was down. I was very down last night. I was at my worst moment. And then only Nina can do that. Nina gave that a speech. And, I was back up again. Yeah, Nina, 2024, we go again. Ah, Jesus Christ, man.
Man,
Jesus Christ.
it's a free country, as they say.
Yeah,
And you
no,
know
no.
that's debatable. Do whatever the hell you want, but
It's a free
folks, do not like, you have to go prove yourself if you're ever gonna be. I mean, they're just and
if it's a
Cenk,
free
man.
country, by the way, until I have my way.
Sam
No,
will
but
change it all. But
no,
I
no,
mean,
I
it's
never would
just,
touch
and
freedom of
the squad too. I mean, for them, maybe it became too much of like you were making a point, too much of like politically a bad move to support her. And I mean, if I was in part of the squad, I would have told her from day one that unless some strategist or someone came up to me and said why it's a good idea to run against so quickly. And the only good example I heard is Jordan. And Jordan almost changed my mind the day before because he did this back of the envelope calculation. He was like,
yeah.
5,000 people voted Republican. If you transfer those 5,000, I'm joking a bit, but if you transfer them in a shuttle, take them directly to the booth, put a gun to their head, and they vote Nina, then for sure. But yeah, if I was part of the squad,
If
I've
you
been like,
bribe them with
I don't
candies,
support.
put candies in a sort of a as a clue to the next
Yeah,
step
I
until they
swear.
get to the voting booth, and then you put a candy on Nina Turner, and they
Yeah, because they still
shit.
might get confused.
Shant.
But yeah, if I was part of the squad, I've been like, you wait 2 years and then run again. Like, in Congress, they have an election like every 3 months. So no, not right now, right away. And
But man, I did feel like Cenk talking last night felt like somebody who's been fucked and dumped like very fast. He was like, yeah, man, you used me. You used
I
my
mean, the
talent."
Justice Democrats literally like they set this up. And I remember Kyle saying a year, like he's like, I haven't spoken to AOC like ever since she became
I think twice in the
elected or
beginning. Yeah.
something. Yeah, after she became
By the way,
elected, just like nothing. Oh man, that's probably one of the more successful. Yeah, but they were.
Kyle's take was even worse than Cenk, man.
Yeah, tell me
He
about
was like,
Kyle a bit.
was like, yeah, guys, take a look at this. Most people when they fight, when they lose a fight, and they want to go down, they want to sulk and stuff. But Nina, man, Nina brings me back up. Nina, it's so cool.
Man,
I'm sorry, but and then, man, I'll send you some comments and maybe you can put them up. Somebody put, this is at this point even Rocky Balboa would have stayed down. I'm stealing this joke, but yeah, it was at like, and then everybody was commenting on the level of self-delusion. There were some people who were very upset about their loss, but I would say most of the comments was like, are you joking me? Like, I
but
don't.
perhaps you're right. I mean, it is like what the revolutionary blackout people were saying. I mean, I don't usually like that argument so much, but they were like, you won't be affected by Nina's loss and all this. And I mean, the way that Kyle is reacting from it just seems like for him, it's just
that.
like a game. It's just a game about
I
him
agree.
and his favorite player.
Team.
And whenever you have a favorite player, favorite team, it doesn't matter if they lose. They can't just after that put out a tweet or a press release or the coach comes and says, we gave it a hard one. We're gonna do even better next time. And then you're like, yeah, sure, because you have no other choice. It's your team, and that's that. So I mean, maybe for Kyle and stuff, it's turned even into a bigger game than it is for us to laughing here
look,
and having fun.
I hate this criticism, and we talked about Sabi Sap made this criticism. I usually hate it because it's like you can't help your background, or you can't help like your
and there's always another background. I mean, it's
that
infinite.
is worse
it
or better.
Never finishes. I mean, you can go on forever and ever.
Yeah, if you do an Oppression Olympics, everybody's a winner, really. But but this time with Kyle especially, maybe it was partially because of the format. It was not him talking to camera. It was one of those that it was the Twitter or the video, and then he would comment. So it did feel like, oh yeah, exactly. It genuinely felt like, yeah, Wayne Rooney is injured now, but okay, but he's gonna be back. Wayne Rooney's gonna be back.
Yeah.
And it felt like, what, I don't know. Again, these people, I don't think it's not that they're not taking it seriously. They are children, man. Go see interview. Like Ilhan Omar a couple of months ago said that she admires Margaret Thatcher. And I don't think she even knows what Margaret Thatcher stood for or what were her these people are idiots. They're like, and Ilhan Omar is the best, I think,
Oh, yeah, I
within
was
the
gonna say,
squad.
don't go here for now. We're like criticism
Ilhan
free,
Omar is
Elon
nice.
Homer criticism free zone for now.
All right, okay. But I mean, you have to realize the level of these people, and you have to try to, I mean, again, it's
The level of
very
Kyle and stuff, you mean?
Kyle and
Yeah.
Nina Turner and stuff. They
Yeah.
are really
Because
like, they
Ilhan
don't.
Omar, I
I mean,
didn't
I
hear this
can't believe
comment, right? But
Kyle is so.
she was probably referring to some of Thatcher's like political skills
No,
or like
no, I tell you,
abilities
no,
to
no.
do things, or like what was
She
she?
was, yeah, exactly. That, well, that kind of a stuff. Well, she was referring to the fact that she mostly, I think she was referring to the fact that she managed to become a successful prime minister in a man's world. So, and she had all the things you said probably to an extent, but yeah, it had nothing to do with her
With policies or something
policies
like
or
that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, exactly. I mean, if you're that
wow.
childish that you can't see these kind of things, just like Trump, we all after a
Yeah, yeah.
while learned that okay, Trump's idiot in 29 ways, but he clearly has these skills here that he's putting to good use. And if we're going to be adults and see why it is that he has some success, it also has to do with some of these things, despite the fact that he's so dumb and so bad and all of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, again, I'm not sure. I don't think it's like intentionally they are being glib. Not that I think it's you should have fun, especially when you talk about awful things like politics. Otherwise, how are you going to digest this nonsense? But it was felt like very, like you've been just defeated, and you're like, it's okay.
Badly, man,
2024, we're gonna
badly. That's what
beat
I'm
them in
saying. I would love
presidential.
to see a bit more analysis. 33 points.
Jordan did a good one, I
Yeah,
think, to an extent. Car one.
yeah,
Recently.
but still, I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but still, I mean, there should be a bit. I mean, Jesus Christ, she got like that was one hell of a beating she took. I mean, one-sided as it could possibly get. I mean, based on what I've heard, the people who voted for Nina could have very well done so accidentally. Like they could have wanted to vote for Chantal Brown. So it's unclear even if she got those votes in like a rational, reasonable way. It could have all just been like a miscommunication based on that one story that Jordan said. I'm exaggerating a bit.
Yeah, that would be great if it turns out like 50% of her vote were actually for Chantal Brown as well. That is. Although you could argue maybe some of Chantal Brown was also for Nina Turner.
I think they should, based on that one comment from that one person, they should maybe scratch this race.
You know what it reminds me?
And just do like by vote of hand in the city of Cleveland. Okay, who wants this person? Put your hands up. Okay. Who wants the other one? Put your hands up.
Right, we can't do paper. You can't handle paper voting. We have to do hands. There's a line. It reminds me. Do you remember when Samuel Jackson was on CNN or MSNBC or something? And I think they introduced it. I'm pretty sure it was Samuel Jackson, but I forgot. Did they introduce him? I think they introduced him as, okay, now we go to Lawrence Fishburne. Can you tell us about Matrix or some shit? I don't know, maybe it was Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Some other black actor. And man, Samuel Jackson, as always, I forget what he said, but he was so funny. And he came out, I can tell you, like he started, I think, telling about Lawrence Fishburne movies or something. It was so good. I love Samuel Jackson. I just remember that. Sorry.
But yeah. Anything else?
Yeah.
I have one semi-serious point, but I don't know if a little bit. I don't even know how true it is, but I
don't have any more points, but I would like to point out that if Nina Turner is going to be the new Moonlight, she should use her powers as an Egyptian god sort of avatar to, like, I don't know, fight crime or something. Do something with
at the very least,
or hire a better goddamn costume designer, whatever. I think she has a costume designer. This is not like a
maybe she's like the dean from Community or something, like but actually two interesting points. One came from Jordan Chariton again, and he said, and you would hear this, they were like, why doesn't Nina Turner go harder on Biden and blah blah blah? And Jordan Chariton said that would be a horrible thing in Cleveland, although in our heads, like, everybody out there is a progressive and they're dying to vote for your progressive votes and bashing of the Democrats. he said, there you go, and you say these things, and you know, they're not going to take it kindly, they're not going to like it. So that was like one thing that made me just realize so many of the people talking about this, like us, we don't know anything about Cleveland or underground. So we're talking theoretically, but we admit that it's theoretically. But Cenk and these other people, all these analysts in the US, they also don't know what the hell is going on in Cleveland really, or how much they've studied exactly the dynamics of Cleveland. Based on their comments, it really doesn't seem so.
I would say I forget if it was open primaries or not. So if independents and that type of people could vote, because if that's the case, I would argue that if you do talk shit about Biden, you could perhaps maybe wake up a sort of a non-voter base or something to come for the first time. But that may take years. That might not be possible within a one election or two elections.
That's maybe another good thing, right? All of these are just trying to be kind of quick wins, really, without putting in, you know, all the legwork that is so much easier said than done, which is of having some kind of party or something. Like, shouldn't that be the focus? I mean, again, we're talking, we don't do anything, I don't help out with anything. But if I wanted to be politically involved, I would much more favor establishing a party than just finding the one candidate here and there.
That's great you said that, because Kyle actually doesn't take he doesn't take he never misses the chance to shit on third parties, because apparently Nina Turner is going to meet with Marianne Williamson, or has, she's hinted at potentially running or helping an independent candidate. And Kyle was like, well, if she's thinking about that, I would tell her that it is extremely unlikely and it's a very bad strategy to run third party. It's much better to take over. No matter how unfair the primary within Democratic Party is, third party is worse. And I think he's just wrong on that, historically, everything.
And if he's right, yeah, sure. Nina Turner, let's say there was another election in a year or two and Nina Turner just like makes her own bullshit party and just jumps in there. No, I didn't say do that. I'm saying create a party, maybe win one council seat here, another council seat there, a local Senate, state level Congress, this kind of stuff. But I mean, because Bernie gave us the illusion that, hey, maybe there's a way to like cheat our way through this. I think Bernie gave this illusion to people, perhaps, that, hey, you know what? Let's forget about winning this or that. Maybe we can just have Bernie as the president of the United States. That would be like the biggest win. And that's probably as close as you could get to that cheat maneuver. And I call it cheat because, it was just bypassing all the other things that you have to do, establishing those ideas and those policies at every level.
I don't think it was like, I think it was like a once in a century chance, kind of like the Social Democrats in Germany with post-World War One, I believe, post-World War. And now it's over, to be honest. No, sorry, pre-World War. But it's over. Like there is not going to be a chance like that in the next 50, 60 years. So don't get your hopes too high. And don't believe people who hype collective power. They're liars. They're trying to. It's just kind of like what Elon Musk is doing with, with sort of a stock market. They talk so their stock prices go up, or the number of their donors go up and earn more money. And I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah. And then the last serious point that I had never thought of that. You want to say something?
No, it's just after your serious point, I have a Kyle point, because it was the example he gave.
Okay, save that then, because mine is very short and it's other people already thought about it. But I heard this on the Black Network channel, and they said that perhaps the establishment were also a bit caught off guard in 2016 with Bernie Sanders, but now they just make sure that anytime there is someone who at least does the talking, and at times did the talking, they make sure that they cross all their T's and dot all their I's. Okay, sorry about that. We just had major technical difficulties, but it's all good. And we're back. Yeah, I'll just finish up my point, Sam. And yeah, I hadn't thought of that the establishment probably wisened up a bit more to like these individual threats. Not saying in any way that Nina clearly had the same skills as Bernie, it seems, or at least ability to get the same results. But that was a fair enough point made on their channel that, yeah, they've wisened up to maybe this too. So anytime there's something like that, to just make sure to crush. And even Biden endorsed. I wonder how common it is for Biden to endorse for the president, to endorse candidates in these primaries and all that. But yeah, and he endorsed 5 days in advance, like properly.
Not like last minute. By the way, guys, oh shit, did I sleep there? Did I sleep through the election? And when we say Biden, by the way, we mean Team Biden. Clearly, Biden. I mean, I don't think he knows who Chantal Brown is. He assumes he's probably, I don't know, Corn Pop's granddaughter or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah, hello. But no,
but yeah, with
that
that completes. I'm kind of looking at my notes here, all my thoughts. So yeah, tell me a little bit more.
Notes.
You were gonna say. Yeah. Well, they were just funny, but I couldn't. I was just listening to Jordan Chariton while biking, and I was messaging myself. Guys, don't do that. But okay.
Yeah. No, I like to point out that one of the examples that Kyle Kulinski, this, I don't understand why. No, it's not an analogy. It's not that funny, but it's not. It's not. But I don't understand. Like, it seems like these people don't even. There is a great video with Christopher Hitchens, and I don't know if it's Sean Hannity or one of these Fox News people, because back then the right wingers thought for a second that Christopher Hitchens was completely with them, so they would have him on, and then he would just destroy religion, and they'd be like, "What happened?" And then one time, Christopher Hitchens, you struck me as somebody who has never read anything that is opposite to your view, and sometimes I feel like that because it's fascinating. The example he gave was Ross Perot's example, which was in 1990s. It was the election between George Bush, the father, Clinton, and Ross Perot ran as an independent candidate. Back then, there wasn't so many barriers. It was very easy to get on the national stage for debates. So Ross Perot managed to get on the national stage. And I haven't looked into this specifically. So I'm not even saying that I'm 100% right, but the dismissive way he was about it. He does mention the fact that Ross Perot actually almost achieved, I believe, between 15 to 20% of the popular vote, but he didn't really win any electoral votes. But Ross Perot was actually, I mean, I don't know, this is my historical view and subjective, but Ross Perot, I think, and I remember reading about this in some places, again, I have to check this, contributed to George Bush's loss, and it did help push the Republican Party towards increased sort of a spending conservatism. Ross Perot was very negative on spending, and this, it was very, I'm a businessman and I believe that everything is a household, like you can't spend more than you have, that type of thing. He was very a strange man, by the way, ahead of his time. He talked about internet at some point and people made fun of him, I think, and stuff. But yeah, the idea that, and we have other examples like the one that Thomas Frank, for example, talks about the Populist Party. Nobody's saying running a third party means taking over presidency.
Yeah.
It's all about political pressure and political maneuvering, because unlike you, most people believe that this is not about friendships with Nina Turner or friendships with AOC and how genuine they may seem or may not seem. I don't care if you're genuine in your naive belief that we're going to be all right. We're gonna be, I don't give a shit if it's genuine or faking it.
Yeah.
Even if it's genuine, you're a nice person. You're not a psychopath. But I don't care about your contribution to politics, particularly because you live in a fucking fairy tale. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're gonna not be all right. All those people are not gonna be all right. All those people who still haven't had their student debts canceled. All those people who have medical debt. All those people who don't go check because they have to pay out of pocket $400, $500. And I'm not talking about just America. Everywhere, by the way, is shit. So don't get me wrong. Like, except I don't know, Northern Europe maybe. But those people are not gonna be all right. They're going to be very sad. They're going to be very, very, very sad.
No, 100%.
And I don't give a shit, by the way. Again, this is Brie brought this up, and I was so glad Brianna brought this up one time. 100 years, 200 years, well, we achieve, I don't know, $30 minimum wage or something. I don't care. I'm here for next 40 years, frankly. And I want to see some movements in there. Every 2 years, next 2 years.
Without doing anything for the next 2 years to be different. That's what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
we
If there
go.
was
No, no,
something
we
being
go.
done that next 2-4 years will be different, then sure.
No, no, no. We go on. We go on TV shows. We
Yeah.
sometimes barely say something negative against Biden, like oh, he's not the best candidate. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so. You say sometimes we have to stand up against these fascists from the right. We have to stand up against the corporate interest. And that's what you do. That is activity that contributes to so much. It contributes to, apparently every time you say we stand against corporate interest, an angel smiles in the
Yeah.
heavens. Did you
Yeah.
know that? An angel gets, they're
But
like, very good boy. Oh,
and
they do that.
and also nobody's telling Kyle that the third party way is like 100% secure. When
Yeah, of course.
I'm willing to say, yeah, maybe it's as hard as the changing one from the inside, but the way you're dismissive, if you're finding examples for third party not working, I mean, like you don't even have to look past like the past year or two to find a million examples of it not happening from the inside either. So very best both arguments like have the same amount of weight and support, and if anything the third party, just because it's been tried out much less frequently and done much less frequently, maybe there's more hope or argument for that. But no one is saying that that is easy to what the Democrats, they're not gonna go and fucking do everything that they can to crush you just because you're independent. Of course you are, of course they are, but damn, but maybe TYT can have Kyle back, because I mean Kyle looks like he gets more views than TYT. So if I was them, I would maybe at least bring him back.
A single man operation is doing better than like a
Yeah.
$40 million operation.
I mean, he gets all this shit, but he's doing
do you
better
remember
than TYT. The poor
do you
guy.
remember do you remember everybody was saying that, oh, Jeffrey Katzenberg bought, Cenk. And I told you, Jeffrey Katzenberg is one of the idiots people in Hollywood. He was one of the people behind, I think, Movie Pass, or was it? No, it was the Quibi. He was behind Quibi. It's stupider than Movie Pass. And then just read about Jeffrey Katzenberg's contribution. I think he was involved in Lion King, and he was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't include Elton John, like like the biggest idiot. And oh my God, like what an investment.
Oh yeah, I know it is. I mean, yeah, exactly. He's. I mean, yeah. I mean, their shit has gone downhill big time, and I was really. I mean, like the John Irola. I mean, I'm kind of repeating myself now. So after this,
he
I don't know
was
if
my
else
favorite with back in the days. He was my favorite because he used to go to climate stuff. Go to
but
North
man,
Pole
right now. The video that he made in Nina Turner, I mean, like makes you question, didn't like self-reflect on anything for a split second, like nothing.
No, because they feel, that's also something, again, with Christian parenting we talked about at the end of our interview. I do think a lot of people on the left, and again, I saw that with Bernie supporters a lot of Bernie supporters didn't support Bernie because Bernie had good policies. They were saying that, oh, he's such a nice old man who talks about good things and stuff. These are children, man. They believe in good and evil. They believe in, this is white, this is black.
But a lot of voters are like this. That's what I'm telling you. Nina Turner probably overdoes the sucking up. Nina Turner probably overdoes the sucking up to people because she's just like so overdoing everything. But a smile, a little anecdote, a little thing like this can get you a voter than coming up with the best policy. At least some voters. I don't know.
I think that may have been the case much more so in 80s and 90s and all that. And I think it's not just about internet and all that. It's about the fact that time has passed from the, this start of what we call American experiment or post-war World War II experiment all across the world. Because we try to, we're focusing on US right now, but everywhere is pretty much the same. I mean, in the UK, Tony Blair just came out and endorsed Keir Starmer in local election. Labour is campaigning, saying that liberals are they want to legalize marijuana and they might get rid of nuclear weapons. We are for nuclear. This is Labour Party in the UK. So this is I do feel like there is more cynicism right now compared to like decades before. And I don't think it does work as these days. You either have to be somebody like Trump that is at least willing to in words say stuff that you like, so you get some nice, I got a nice burn from that, or like I think you have to have like well connections and build up a coalition.
The impact is much less, perhaps. I believe I could
think
buy that, but it's probably still the case that people know one or two things, just one good image about you in their head that could seal the deal.
Maybe. Did you notice? I feel like TYT is moving again back to like comedy and sensational sort of stuff. Their thumbnails have become so weird. I saw every thumbnail is basically like a picture of some news, and then Anna and Cenk making some really weird face. Like
that's not what. I've realized that also. Cenk is always becoming more and more like the face of TYT. I mean, if Cenk should if it comes down to it one day, he should give his own salary to Anak Esperin, because I mean, we all hate Anak, we all make fun of Anak Esperin, said the stupidest thing, went after people for absolutely no reason, but she clearly is running, TYT is Anak Esperin. To me, it seems like it. I'm not like a member, I'm not like, so I don't know all the other stuff they do. By looking at their YouTube thing, Cenk, the best thing he ever did was probably get Anna, and she's still probably the reason why they have viewers, I'm guessing.
Hey, it was the best decision he made, because it was his shield against any anti-Armenian.
That too. She served many purposes for him. She served
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, we don't know about the business side, and whenever I see their community posts, they always put that like our one Cenk with these two people, then Cenk with these two. So I don't know. Like he's there a lot as well.
No, he's there a lot too. But compared to like 5-6 years ago, they had such a pool of people who were like,
they had such a pool of people
that you would go and watch and listen.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. We have to talk about this. I'm sorry. One more point. Sorry, this issue. The one funniest take was from that girl Francesca Florentina.
She's reemerged. I feel like she's been quiet.
Yeah, she's reemerging.
Maybe she's on Majority Report, and I never watched that. I don't know.
No. She does her own thing, I think, and I love the fact that she's a comedian. By the way, her whole comedy is, did you hear Republicans want to ban abortion? Just saying, this is she's one of the worst cases of post Jon Stewart comedy, that everybody thought, if we just read this with an attitude, it's funny, right? No, it's not. You have to do jokes. But yeah, Francesca Florentina was on TYT, man, and the take, I don't know if you saw this.
No.
I loved it, because it just almost made like, okay, that's all right, perfect, that's why she should have lost it. She said, the worst thing that the Progressive Caucus did was, by the fact that they didn't endorse Nina Turner, they kind of portrayed her as this extremist, as this radical, that her ideas are so out there and so strange, while in reality, Nina would have just been another quiver in the, I forget, another arrow in the quiver of the Progressive Squad. Basically saying that she would have exactly been like Progressive Squad. She wouldn't have any radical or things change. So it was like, so why would
so exactly, did she make that connection?
No, she's complete. She was like, oh, they let her to be portrayed as such a radical extremist. Jesus
man, from the left's point of view, you can argue at least with someone like Chantal Brown. At least you can have someone with a target on their back. Maybe you can go after her, and then maybe there's somebody else that can beat her in 2 years or so. So exactly, if Nina Turner is just going to go in there and do nothing, maybe it's better to have someone that at least you can target, and then maybe beat her in the next Congress election, which is like next month.
Yeah, I believe within the next hour. It is happening.
By the time we make our next video, Nina Turner
is running again, this time for head of UN. What?
In the past 4 months, where we've recorded like 3 episodes of our Frankfurt School series, she's run 2 elections for Congress.
Yeah,
Yeah, give it to her for productivity at least. If it was
And
with
that's
us, I'll
what
be like, Nina, sit on that idea, come back and see me in 25 years. That's the
yeah.
pace at which I progress.
She's one of those annoying people that probably always volunteers to become the a school board parent president, or in the local community. I want to be the president. I want to be the. I feel like that. We have a joke about Mohsen Rezai. There's this guy in Iran who's been nominated, who's been a candidate for presidency about 345 times, and we only had elections like 300 times. We don't know the other 45 times. Nobody knows. And Mohsen Reza is so funny. Every time he comes on, like he increases his vote like by 10%. Very little. And we're talking 10% of nothing. So like that. And Nina Turner reminds me of Mohsen Reza so much. It's like she just loves to be a candidate. She lives for candidacy. She doesn't even like Mohsen Reza doesn't like the job. We just want the candidacy. I swear, I just like to be on a camp, meet with people, talk to them. I enjoy this.
Man, maybe we can put a package together where Hillary gets to be like president of like the White House, like guest house or something. Like, do they have a guest house? They get me there. Then have like a small thing, make Nina Congress there. Just these two, they will not give up. I mean, Hillary, Jesus. All right, let's see.
Just go
they're
away.
So similar in a way. And what's his name? Andrew Yang makes a new party, or I mean. Now he's also made a new party. I don't know what Andrew Yang is going to do next. Maybe make his own country. I don't know that. Maybe that's like his next.
I feel Andrew Yang is focusing on selling books. Basically, that's good, and becoming a media personality. And I think that's a good grift, man. Focus on that. At least better than this bullshit. Now, every 2 years, Jesus, bro, please leave us alone.
But hey, well, thank you for this content, Nina, and appreciate it.
Moon Knight, whatever you go by these days, we appreciate it.